Some people claim that Buddhism and Hinduism are said to be more friendly to scientific method than Christian faith.
That Hinduism and Buddhism are more sympathetic to the scientific method? Well, I would really like to see how the examples of that. You see, it's not enough for somebody to just say something. I have two questions, and this is in a book that I wrote called The Tactics, a Game Plan for Discussing Your Christian Conviction. It allows me to maneuver. And the first question is, what do you mean by that? Help me to understand. In what way are Hinduism, Buddhism more, in a certain sense, open to the scientific method than Christianity? And then I'm going to ask them, why would they think that's the case? Give me the evidence. And see, the problem is people just simply say things like that, and then the Christian thinks it's their job to do all the heavy lifting and refute the view, when in fact they don't. They just have to get a clarification, okay, first. And so here's a curious situation. Modern science, did it rise up in the East or did it rise up in the West as a matter of history?
In Western Europe.
Yeah, in Western Europe. And there's been a lot of thinking about this, and I think the answer is obvious. It's because of the Western Europe being a cradle of Christian civilization, had a particular way of looking at the world that was very friendly to the development of science. Christianity believes that there is a God who made the world in an orderly way. God and the world are different from each other. God made human beings in a certain sense like him, with rationality and reason, who could figure out what was going on in the world and use it, be fruitful, multiply, subdue the earth. It's part of the creation mandate. And excuse me, and then gave us senses that are reasonably reliable to tell us about the world. And so all these are details of the Christian worldview, okay? And these all fit directly. They make science possible, okay? And this is why when you look at the development of modern science, virtually every single individual that was a founder of an area of modern science turned out to have been a biblical, believed in the Bible and believed a Christian worldview. All of these people that started the whole scientific enterprise were Christian people. They weren't Buddhist, and they weren't Hindus, and even those who are doing science now from South Asia are not doing science as Buddhists. They're Buddhists on the side. They're Hindus on the side, but their science is being done in a way that is not consistent with those religions. It's consistent with a view of the world that Christianity provided. And when you think of Vedantic Hinduism, when you get down to the basics, it's monistic. That is, there's only one thing that's real, and that's God, and he's impersonal. And everything else is Maya. Everything else is illusion. Why would science start in India? And I mean no disrespect to those in India, but just think about it. Why would science start in India where people are told to believe that everything's an illusion? It's not real anyway.
Yes.
So
yes, when everything is Maya, when everything is illusion, you cannot even get motivated to explore it.
Right.
Because you already concluded that it's an illusion.
Yes. I had a dream last night about something, okay? Am I motivated to analyze the laws of the dream and how I can manipulate those laws to get a different dream? No, it's just a dream, just an illusion. So this is a really surprising claim to me because of the fact that it's so contrary to all of the evidence. I have in my bookshelf over here, I've got two different books, and that talk about how the Christian worldview, actually it's more than that, a Christian worldview was the foundation for science and a whole bunch of other things that we consider really good now. It was the Christianity that ended slavery. And even though there might have been some Christians that participated in that, shame on them, it was the ideas of Christianity that got rid of all of these terrible things that people were doing to each other. You know, I was in, last thought on this question, I was in Madras, India a number of years ago, and there was a Hindu girl that asked me, she was a waitress, and we were having a conversation about spiritual things, and she said, if your God is real, then why is all this suffering in India? Why, and you know, and especially the children, why they're suffering? And you know, of course, there's tremendous poverty and suffering in India. And I said, well, God didn't do this. Hinduism did this. What you're looking at, and again, not meaning any disrespect, people are, what you see is the result of people living out their convictions about Hinduism. Okay? So look at, this is not evidence that Hinduism is false and that Christianity is true. It's simply saying, you know, and even the thing about science, if you're just asking where science works best, well, the answer is obvious in a Christian worldview, not in a Hindu worldview. If you're going to raise a question about why there's so much evil in the world, like in India, well, you can look at the tenets of Hinduism and what they instruct the people to do and how to believe, and you can see how it leads to the kind of life that people are living. Okay? So even if Hinduism is true, this is the kind of world it produces, right? So, I mean, what can I say?
It's basically karma. Like, if you are poor, if you are suffering because of your karma in the past lives, and you have nobody to blame.
Yourself.
Yes.
Yourself before.
yes. I have to blame myself.
That's right.
For all the trouble I'm going through.
Yeah. And if you try to help somebody like that, I mean, arguably you're interfering with them working out their karmic debt. And you shouldn't be doing that. Look after yourself, you know, and whatever. So anyway, I think most people, if they thought about it and were fair about it, they'd realize that the beliefs of Hinduism produces the lifestyle that people experience in India.